I'm here today with Michael Wall, CEO and President of Wall Financial Group, and we're discussing the topic of finding the right advisor to guide you through your retirement years. Michael, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Michael, I know that you've been in the industry for quite some time. Tell me what factors are important to consider when you're choosing an advisor to guide you through your retirement years.
You know, Molly, that's a good question, and it's an important one when you do look at retirement. And probably one of the most important things when you're looking for an advisor in the retirement years is to really evaluate that advisor and understanding whether or not he is or she is a growth advisor or a preservation and distribution advisor. A lot of folks haven't heard of that before, but it's very, very important to understand. And the reason it is because a lot of times, most of the time when you're working, you have factors that are working for you that actually work against you when you're retired. For example, when you're working, you're putting money into a portfolio or putting money into retirement, every single month. Generally, when you're retired, you're in a situation where you're taking money out. Mm-hmm. So the ideas and the strategies are totally different. So that's why a lot of times the folks that might have had someone for 10, 15, 20 years while they're working really need to be looking for someone different in retirement years.
Okay. Is it really important to have a second opinion with your investments?
You know, Molly, in your retirement years, I really believe that it is. And probably the best way to explain that is to take a look at the medical field. Most people are familiar with the fact that, most folks are going to go and have some sort of a doctor where they're going to go get checkups year in and year out. But let's say something happens as time moves along medically, and you find that you have a large pain in your head, right? You go to your doctor that you've gone to all these years and you built up a great relationship with, and you're kind of buddies almost. And he or she says to you, we need to go get some tests from a specialist. So you go get those tests and you find out that there's a golf ball-sized tumor in your brain. Well, that's kind of a game changer,
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to, obviously, your health and your future. Now, you go back to your regular doctor and they say, hey, no one knows you better than me, Molly, and I would be more than happy to do that surgery for you. I went to school, I know all the parts of the body, I can do that for you if you'd like. Or option two is you can actually go and have a specialist that does this each and every day. And that's exactly why when you're looking at retirement in particular, a lot of times folks are in a situation where the strategies and the investment thinking that got them to where they are today aren't necessarily the same strategies that are going to help them accomplish goals in retirement, because there are factors that are different in the retirement year. So yeah, it's absolutely important, in my opinion, to have a second opinion in the retirement.
In a recent interview you had on Fox Business, you talked about risk in a portfolio. Why is that so important in your retirement years?
Molly, I think risk, when folks look at it in their retirement years, is something that is probably the least evaluated thing of all. Mm-hmm. They feel like they've kind of moved some of their portfolio, maybe they're less or more risky, and they feel like that's taking care of it. But the problem is you really need to actually fundamentally change the way you think when you get to your retirement years. Probably one of the biggest reasons, Molly, is just simply the fact of some of the things that are not working for you while you're retired that actually worked for you while you were working. And I answered it again in the previous question, but dollar cost averaging or adding money into a portfolio each and every month kind of subdues some of the market volatility as it happens. But when we're retired, somebody's worked 20, 30, 40, however many years to get to the place that they're now retired. The last thing they want to do is jeopardize their lifestyle because of market volatility. So, when you think about it, a lot of the folks that we talk to understand the fact that they would be better off to make no money on their money in the future than they would be to lose 20 or 30% of their portfolio. Right. Not that we want to make nothing, but the point is evaluating risk is huge in retirement, in particular because we want to make sure that we take a look at what our income needs are, ensure that those needs are met by some type of retirement and guaranteed investments. And then now you're in a situation where you can kind of do what you will with the rest because your income's been taken care of. Really, really important in evaluating risk. And it's absolutely one of the biggest reasons, Molly, that people end up having to go back to work or living lower than they really wanted to live when they're actually retired. So evaluating risk is crucial, absolutely.
Okay. What would you say makes Wall Financial Group different than other firms?
Molly, I think to answer that, I probably have to go back to one of the clients that kind of sticks in my mind that we work with. Obviously we work with several clients throughout the country, but there's one in particular. We had a Christmas party, and they were with another advisor for years and years and years and years. And when they came to the party, one of the things that the wife actually mentioned to me is she said, Michael, you know, this is the first time that we really have felt when we're working with an advisor that we've actually been listened to. You know, it was just amazing to me to hear that. And obviously, as I work with folks and I ask a lot of questions and try and get a lot of feedback, one of the things that I hear on a repeated basis is simply the fact of our service exceeds what they're used to. You know, we kind of give expectations that are realistic, and we meet those expectations. And I believe one of the reasons we're able to do that, because, you know, you hear a lot of talk today, Molly, but I believe one of the reasons we're able to do that is because we specialize in a particular industry. You know, we realize that you can't be all things to all people, but you can be all things to some people. And that's exactly why we really limit the amount of clients we bring on every year. We still grow and we still bring on folks, but we limit them and we make sure it's the right fit one to another, which really enables us to be able to bring the level of service, tax planning, estate planning, and type of retirement protection to clients that they're really looking for. So if I had to evaluate it, I would say those would probably be one of the biggest reasons of why I feel we've really seen that we're a lot different in the industry.
Okay. We want to thank you for taking the time to view this video. And thanks again, Michael, for sharing your thoughts about finding the right advisor in retirement. To learn more about other important retirement issues, visit us on the web at retireonceretirewell.com. Thanks again.